Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the PEP Talk. And of course, I always have with me Tom and Nico. And today we're going to go over the area, or they got to go and see the IFPA show. So tell me a little bit about it, guys. Did you guys have fun? What was it about? And what did you guys experience?
Yeah. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Nico. So IFPA, what does that stand for, Nico?
International Fresh Produce and Floral, something like that. They have changed it
Yeah.
in the time. I used to call them PMA and still have it as that in my head. So, but yes, it's like International Fresh and Floral Produce Show, I think.
That's right. And we flew in on Thursday. The reception was Thursday night. Is that right? And then we had meetings Friday and Saturday and came home Saturday. So this is last weekend in October. It was in Anaheim, California. I don't know. What were your thoughts on the show, Nico?
So this is the most important show for Floral and for fresh produce. And I have been, I used to work for packaging for Floral. So I used to attend this show when I was in Floral and then as a fresh produce guy. So there's a lot of mixed feelings every year. People say, no, I'm not sure if I'm coming next year, but they always come next year. So it's a place that it requires an important investment of time and money, but at the end is where you get the best exposure to current customers, to retailers, to future prospects. So I think it's an important show. And for you, this was the first time that you attend to a fresh produce show. And based on your comments, you saw it very colorful, a lot of noise and smells and everything. So there was food all over and people. And I don't know if you had time to go to the floral pavilion. Normally in the previous years, they just separated by the main avenue, but now they put it in a completely different place. So there's always that mix of decoration. So it's a nice show. You have to be very organized to take the most advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody puts Floral in the corner, but they did. So I never made it over to the Floral Pavilion. But yeah, I mean, what I really like, we go to AFI every year, the American Frozen Food Institute show, and that's not really a trade show. It's more of like speed dating and setting up appointments with potential customers or vendors or networking and stuff like that, where this one is really all about the trade show floor. Which I really like because, as you mentioned, everybody had different cooking stations in their booth with the fresh food. And there's just a ton of brands out there that I've been buying for a long time. That it's cool to me. Like obviously, Giant is there, Driscoll's there, like just major players in the berry market that our sister company works with. As well as what's the name of the tomatoes that are in the upside down rigid, the cherubs?
Nature
I
Street.
can't. Nature Sweet. Yeah, I love those. So it was just great to see that type of stuff out there. It was really interesting to see all those guys that do fresh and rigids like Driscoll's, Cow Giant, and stuff like that do a lot of berries and clamshells. They were looking for, and they put on display this. It's basically a poly-lined board solution because it uses way less plastic, right? So it's like a paper board that has polyethylene move to it. So it uses 80% less plastic. But what's interesting about that solution is that when you're mixing paper and plastic, then it's a single use plastic. So we did see some people taking some berries and putting them into just a pure flex pack bag, which I've never seen before. And I think the concern of that is, will the berries hold up, right? If you have blueberries into let's say it's a 1 pound bag, well, those blueberries on the bottom get squished because it's so much weight sitting on them, but it looked really good. So a lot of EPR, a lot of plastic reduction stuff as these major national brands, right? Like let's say Cow Giant ships 2 tons of plastic into Oregon. Well, Oregon's like, well, here's your tax bill for EPR now. So there's just a lot of looking now that these tax bills are becoming a reality. There's a lot of ways of trying to reduce the amount of plastic sent in the states, which is cool.
And this industry in a way is more simpler because on frozen we deal with a lot of different structures, and on fresh produce mainly what everyone uses, at least on the flexible packaging area, is BOPP because of its clarity. There are some vendors trying to do things on compostable film and good initiatives, but mostly because the industry or consumers is used to see the product, they only want to see the fully transparency. which is great and has been great for many many years. But if we want to move to a more sustainable approach, uh, transparency will have to be sacrificed in any different structures that you try if you want to mix it up. Or that initiative that you mentioned about the blueberries, literally is 80% less plastic if you move from a clamshell to a to a bag. But in order to do that with something as tender and soft as the blueberry, you need to provide a solution that guarantees the freshness. Because when it's fresh, it's tight and it's tight. It won't be that soft. And what we saw was modified atmosphere in that bag, which is very clever because it helps to extend the shelf life. If the shelf life is extended, most likely the bottom blueberry will resist the weight of the other ones. And it wasn't a 2 pounds bag. It was more like a snack, not a snack bag, but it was a small presentation. So it's good to see a lot of creativity in this area. People trying to do different, trying to do better.
Yeah, I think it was an 18-ounce bag, if I recall, which is like a pound and a third. Is that right? No, 16 ounces in a pound. No, a little over a pound. Probably like 1 kilo is what it ended up being.
No, or less, but at the
Oh,
end, it's
no,
how
no, no.
people
Half a
get.
kilo. Sorry, like
Yeah, yeah,
500 grams. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. I got to
Not even,
remember. 2.2 pounds. Yeah,
not even on clamshells. I have seen 1 kilo of blueberries.
it's a lot of blueberries.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, like, since I wasn't able to go to the show, and for any of the listeners that are out there that haven't attended the show, I mean, you were kind of saying about presentation. I mean, did you guys just walk into like a big building, or I mean, how is it like? How was the layout, and what is it like?
Yeah, I mean, they have like a solution center for like, I guess, ancillary stuff. Like you see some packaging providers and stuff there, but it's almost
Mm-hmm.
all national brands. Or like Robinson Fresh was there, which is part of CH Robinson. And they do a bunch of logistic stuff, but they also handle supply chain of fresh produce. But it was just a lot of, I mean, a lot of our fresh comes out of Latin America. So a lot of Latin American based companies that are bringing their fresh produce, whether it's bananas, oranges, what have you. So you see a lot in that citrus space, those netted bags, because
Okay.
that's a huge reduction in plastic use, right? You see orange bags with like in that mesh. But that's an interesting call out, Nico, that you make about transparency. The reason transparency isn't that important in frozen is because frozen vegetables don't look that appealing. There's frost on them. Usually there's frost on the bag, so you can't see it. The majority of the stuff that we're doing in frozen are, I wouldn't say 100% opaque, but they're white bags. Nobody's trying to really see the contents too much because frozen contents don't look that great.
No,
And that's why
and I guess the assumption is that the product is good. Like once it's frozen, it will stay the same. So people don't need to check bad versus fresh produce. If you don't see the content, sometimes people are looking. Okay, there's some decay, and sometimes you can see it. Oh, this is start to have some moisture or some decay. Or when you buy strawberries, especially, you can see how it start to leak red water, or sparrows start to get very soft on the tips.
Mhm.
So it's good for people to corroborate what they see, but we need to do some sacrifice and change the culture. Or even the blueberry bag, which I thought it was very clever. It will be blind to your eyes when you go to a supermarket at the moment, because you're used to see always blueberries in a format, and they might put the bag next to the clamshell, and you might not see it. It's only until you are aware that you're going to start seeing. So hopefully people start to see things differently. I think that's the challenge, because consumers are very flexible as long as they're educated and informed. I don't see resistance on consumers. I see more resistance on retailers on changing things.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, it's really easy for us to move to sustainable bags in the frozen world because it's almost all pure polyethylene based. So we can just make mono web polyethylene, which would be available for store drop off. Polypropylene creates a whole another set of challenges because as of right now, I don't think there's any municipalities in the United States that are taking polypropylene flexible packaging as recyclable, even if it's pure polypropylene, which they mostly are. So hopefully get better about that chain, and maybe we'll see store drop off for pure polypropylene bags as an option. But now we're asking, like, it's kind of nice for the consumer to be like, okay, everything goes in your blue bin except for polyethylene bags, that's store drop off. I think it's going to be more confusing for the consumer to say everything goes in your blue bin, that's rigid polypropylene, but flexible polypropylene will need to go to store drop off. Flexible polyethylene needs to go to store drop off, but a different bin. We're asking a lot of a consumer that probably doesn't have a basic understanding of chemistry to make that differential, to really start to have a flexible polypropylene stream in the United States. So we can move to polyethylene on these bags, but to your point, now there's a haziness and you don't see the clarity. So it's going to be, there's a lot of changes that need to be. Yeah, exactly.
And especially I think that the due diligence of consumers is normally they check on the back. Those who check, they try to find the recycled triangle, and that's it. They don't see what kind of recycle number is, or is it drop off. So most people, if they see the triangle, oh, it is recyclable, but it's not. So it's difficult to, if consumer is not educated on that. And before I work on packaging, I've never paid attention to that. You need to be aware from one way or the other. And people among the industry, retailers, growers, they're not completely fully aware of the details. What can you expect for consumers? So there need to be a really cool ad or advertising for people to start get informed.
Agreed. And that's kind of a nice, like, if you haven't seen our quick pep talk on all the different recycle Mobiuses and breaking down the different types of plastic and what they mean, definitely go back and watch that. That's a nice little 10-minute hitter. Like, what's number one? What's number two? What's number three? What's number four? Where did they go? We break all that down. So if you're a little hazy on that, like polyethylene, then definitely watch that one, and then you'll be perfectly clear, like polypropylene.
Yeah. To Nico's point, it's like if you're not in the field, you're not really paying attention to this stuff. And like, it's nice to be able to have videos like how we already filmed with a little 10, 15-minute clip where you can just go learn and educate yourself. Just 10, 15 minutes is all it takes. And that's super helpful. So,
but also in education.
Overall, I'm sorry, go ahead, Nico.
I was going to say, in general, for education, these trade shows, IFPA, is a good show because it has a lot of sessions for educational spot, at least for people who's attending. And it's a place to expose to new tendencies, to new develops. So overall, it's a good show, and we're going to be next year for sure, right?
Yeah, exhibiting next year. So this year we just walked to kind of gauge it out, but definitely a great show. And you know what I like about the location is the trade show is like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, basically. And you may be giving up a Saturday with your family, but the trade show is right across the street from Disneyland. So it would be an opportunity if you're attending, like bring your wife and kids, they can go to Disneyland during the day and then you can meet with them at night. So that's kind of cool. Definitely recommend flying into SNA, John Wayne, or something like that, and not LAX. And driving an hour and a half down, it's a nightmare getting out of LAX. So you're better off flying into Carlsbad and driving an hour north than you are LAX and driving, because the hour north is like 60 miles. The hour and a half from LAX is like 10. Right? So it's just terrible. If you hit bumper traffic, don't fly into LAX. But great show, really great brands, tons of opportunity out there. You're seeing a ton of innovation around sustainability, especially with this EPR. So if you haven't been, definitely go. And as we get closer to it next year, obviously we'll be sending everybody like our booth location and what we're exhibiting and our new releases. So good show, IFPA, super fun.
Awesome. Yep. Sounds like you guys had fun, and it sounds like next year is going to even be even more fun considering we're going to be there presenting. And so we're actually getting cut down to the time. Is there anything else you guys want to share before we get out of here?
No.
Yeah. Great explanations today, guys. I think it was very informative. Tom, I know you definitely helped us with where someone can land and save on traffic time. And Nico, you explained a lot of the chemistry pretty well as well. But that's all we have for you guys today. We hope you enjoyed this quick film of the IFPA. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Follow us for more trips and for more tips on trips.
Yep.
Trips and ticks. Trips. What?
Yep. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.